Well, you know, my philosophy for your very straight question has always been Cambridge is one Cambridge. We have different opinions, we have different people, black, white, brown, yellow, red, men, women, straight, gay. Our division is based on us not willing to compromise and willing to look at both sides of the one equation. I know that we have some issues. I know we have some distractors. I like that word today. I'll use that a couple of times. But we also have to remember that for the good of our community, for the good of Cambridge, the differences have to be put aside, and we have to recognize the differences, celebrate our opinions, but don't try to down another person because they don't agree with what we believe and what we do. Cambridge is one Cambridge. Less than 13,000 people in this great community. So we're not that large that we can hide from each other, but we're large enough that we know we need to work together to get things done, you know?
Yeah.
My critics, distractors as you call them, have said that many times that I've been in office too long. Is that because I'm old? I don't know. I had to make that little joke. And that I've not accomplished enough. You know, as a black woman, black women and women in general are sometimes underrated from the work that they do. And I was a child of the 50s. My parents, the late Fred Jackson and my mother Betty Jackson, who still lives here in Cambridge, I was taught to be steady, be mature, but also be humble about the things that I've done and accomplished. And I think that I've not boasted enough about the things I have done or have been accomplished during my term as mayor. And because I was so humble about it, I had to start asking myself and writing down what has been accomplished. It is my contention that a great deal has been accomplished since I was mayor back in 2008 until today. And in fact, Cambridge has been undergoing a renaissance, be it slow and steady, as reflected in our rising amount of private investment in the city. From the repaving of the 300 block of High Street near the post office to the real progress with the Mesas Lane Community Center, Cambridge is on the move. We're moving forward under my administration. And to answer a very straight question to the critics and the attackers of the work I've done, I've been praised across the state by county, state, and federal leadership, those who have decision-making here in the state of Maryland, for the leadership I've accomplished and for the things that have been done in the city of Cambridge. And because I really have to answer the question, because we've had limited resources in Cambridge. If you recall, in 2008 when I was elected, we had an economic explosion. We had a boom, and not in a good way. The housing stock plummeted. The financial resources we had took a dive, and I took the realm, or the helm, the word is helm, of the city of Cambridge, and we got it through the worst financial upheaval we've had in a generation or two. But with the city commissioners working with me toward the goals of bringing Cambridge forward, we have accomplished many things. The change has been gradual. It's no big, exciting fireworks of activities, but I brought my list of accomplishments, of financial resources that have been accomplished since I've been mayor. The funds raised, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 different programs, raised $2,862,732 from the City Hall renovation to the Christ Rock Water and Sewer Extension. That was a $2.4 million project where private administrations promised and promised and promised to get the citizens of Christ Rock that they would have water and sewer. That was accomplished under my realm. To the American Legion Post 91, resources that were provided to them to rebuild their facility. Those are the funds raised. Streetscape projects, Mesas Lane, the sidewalks on Mesas Lane, $950,000. The city parks throughout the community. Cedar Street, $3 million. There are various projects, and I'll just give you the heading and the totals raised. The funds raised were $2,862,000. Streetscape projects, $3,437,000. The playgrounds, the visitor center, Cornish Park, Middle Avenue, Cosby Avenue, Great Marsh, $925,000. Our city parks, Cannery Park, Long Wharf Park, $2,375,000. My quick math totaled $9,600,432 in the years that I've been mayor. I'm not saying that I did all of this by myself. I'm saying that under my leadership, with the partnerships from the county, the state, the feds, the decision makers, these things have been accomplished. You haven't asked a question, but I'm going to answer it in this way. Why do I consider myself the person still to lead this community? Well, I've said it first of all, and I say it all the time, I love Cambridge. There's nothing I won't do for Cambridge. I consider myself the Donald Schaefer version for Cambridge as he was in Baltimore City. I will do anything. I will, other than get my hair wet, I will make a fool of myself to put Cambridge in the forefront. As I said, I am a steady person, I'm a mature person, I'm a humble person, but I am also a person with passion, and I stay the course. I persevere for the long term. I'm in it for the long term. I also have energy for this job. I have vision for the future, and I'm sort of stubborn. I have tenacity. If I put my mind on something to get it done, I will get it done. I will make sure that we as a community will get it done.
Thank you,
Because Pine Street is historic, we've been able to designate Pine Street as a historic district with the state of Maryland. But the vision I have is the elimination of blight for all of those houses that need to be either rehabbed, demolished, or taken over to really improve the housing stock. I have been aware of how to make impact with the landlords who have less than adequate housing. And I have to work with people who have housing stock that needs to be improved. I have spoken with people who own housing and asked a very direct question of just a few, but enough that I have the answer. Would you want your grandchild to live in these conditions? Would you want your family to live in these conditions? And the answer, of course, is no. The prior council and I had a plan of action where we would step up our program of enforcement. It died on the vine, if you will. It didn't go any farther because the landlord stated that they would work with us to improve the housing stock. And if landowners agreed to it, they would work with us with our housing inspectors and our code enforcement officers, which we have already instituted here in the Cambridge area. That was one of the things I did get accomplished with our current council. But the idea is to identify the houses that need to be rehabbed or demolished or just done over. You know, let someone else pick it up. Rent to own is a program I'd like to have happen. We as a community need to hold these landlords accountable for the housing stock that they are getting good pay for their rent. A regulatory ordinance was passed a few years ago, but was rescinded. What I'm going to do with this new council, if allowed to by the citizens of Cambridge, I'm going to resurrect that ordinance where the residents will give us their permission and go into the home to inspect the housing stock in the interior. We can do the outside, but sometimes that interior is really the problem. Quick story, this is just recent. A lady, as I was walking through the communities, I stopped and said, "Hey, how you doing?" And she said, "Not so good. The water is coming down in my house." I noticed the sink in her roof from outside, so she allowed me in. And I saw where she had taken plastic and developed like a little pool to capture the water. And I said, "So have you talked to the landlord?" "Yeah, they promised me to fix it." But until she allowed me in the house, she was afraid to report it to the citizens, to the city. So of course, I'm an Action Jackson. That was my name in college. I don't use it anymore. I got my housing inspector to go in, and he worked with the landlord to fix that roof. I drove by the other day, and the roof has been fixed. That's the kind of thing we need. We need the citizens to have confidence in the city and the landlords to work with us to improve the housing stock one house at a time. And I don't want to forget to give a shout out to Habitat for Humanity, who have been wonderful partners for us. The city of Cambridge has improved the housing stock because we are working with people who want to buy their own house. And home ownership is another way to improve the housing stock and the blight that we face here in Cambridge. Partnership, collaboration, and communication are the only way we're going to partner with the plan for the waterfront. And there has been a definitive message with the Cambridge Waterfront Development Incorporation that we want whatever develops there to have an impact, a bridge, if you will, to the downtown. That the development, and there are a couple of companies that are ready to sign on the dotted line that they are willing to be part of that revitalization. But the message for the Cambridge Waterfront Development, Inc. is that whatever we develop there must partner with the downtown, with the Main Street, to have a path that will guide people from whatever is on the waterfront directly to downtown, a short walk, a walking path. It's maybe a mile from Governor's Hall, I'll just use that current location, to the Main Street downtown.
An 8-minute walk.
8-minute walk,
yeah.
Okay. Or a 5-minute drive if I'm driving and parking my car. But it's not a very long walk. It's less than a mile, would I say that?
Yeah.
And the mission that has been given to this group, and we're taking it out of the political hands with the Cambridge Waterfront Development. Their mission, their target, their only idea to do is to develop a path downtown. We're not ignoring downtown. As a matter of fact, we have included members of our downtown in the discussions that we've had over the years. We recognize that the lifeblood of Cambridge is our Main Street, our downtown. It used to be the lifeblood of the Eastern Shore, but we're revitalizing that as well. And if you notice, Pastor, a lot of the box stores in other areas are closing, where the boutique stores and restaurants are flourishing. And the idea is to continue encouraging that flourishing, but map it or partner with the waterfront development. It is the jewel of the Eastern Shore. When you cross that bridge coming from Talbot County into Dorchester, we are to say, wow, what is going on in Cambridge? That's the mission. I would like to see a children's museum or a family-focused museum. It's the water. Have the children experience the beauty and appreciate the water and the landscape of Cambridge and / Dorchester County. I would like to see some boutique hotels for women that are my size. You know, I love the stores downtown, but I would also like to be able to browse around a nice store that would cater to women who have a plus size physique. And lastly, I would also like to see a seafood restaurant or some kind of specialty place. Maybe not so much seafood. We have some great seafood places here in Cambridge, and that's my political statement. But I would like to see a place that would cater to people who are looking for a different type of menu in their restaurants. We have beautiful steak places and seafood places, a nice soul food restaurant. If you're asking me what I want, I would like a nice place where I could sit down and eat some good old country food, some soul food, and have great parking. And lastly, I really would like to see a nice boutique hotel, someplace that would be overlooking the water, that wouldn't break the bank, you know, something that would be available to families to come and just take a woo-saw day to breathe, look at the water, relax, enjoy Cambridge. I don't ask for a lot. I also, I guess I better say something about tourism, having a tourism office or something that would be really for Harriet Tubman, a Harriet Tubman place in Cambridge. I don't ask for much, but I want it all. Cambridge, I have been an advocate for Cambridge many years. Before I became mayor, I volunteered, I donate money, I get involved with the community. This is something I think is important for the mayor of Cambridge. You have to have a legacy before you become the mayor, so you will have some credentials, some credits, if you will, to say, I'm not a flash in the pan. I'm here for the long haul, I persevere, I'm stubborn, and I love this community enough to ask you one more time, elect Victoria Jackson-Stanley mayor. I'm here for the long haul, and I need your help to get things done here in Cambridge.